The final score, Wrexham 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers under-21s nil. I know it's the least consequential tournament that we're in, but we're through to the next round, and that is good because, let's be honest, a key element if we're to have success this season is keeping this remarkably deep squad happy. And okay, players like Scar and Rathbone are getting some time now on the pitch for the first team in the league. But the truth of the matter is that, we brought in some very good players in the summer. They're not getting all that many minutes between them. And so it's good for them to keep getting time on the pitch and build up relationships with those Wrexham fans who will be pushing them on in the last part of the season. So good to maybe to have games when we can ensure we can get these players on the pitch, getting minutes in their legs and feeling a bit more involved. This was a highly enjoyable match. They usually are against the academy teams because they'll come out and try and play football against us. But that allows us a little bit of space and room to move the ball about ourselves. So they tend to be fun passing games. And Wrexham, having made 11 changes, once more showed just what strength and depth we have got. It is remarkable. It was very one-sided as well. Wolves were tidy and they moved the ball around quite neatly, but they didn't have much up front. Danny Angel is a Spanish striker up front for them, and he really struggles to make the ball stick against three centre-backs who look very, very good indeed. And yeah, they toiled really, only really threatening when the game was gone at 3-0 in the last sort of 20 minutes of the game when Adozi came off the bench and was a lively presence driving them forwards. But it was all Wrexham, really. First opportunity coming when Seb Reven ripped in a free kick from the left-hand side. Farl got it well just outside the 6-yard box, but it wasn't the easiest header to keep down. He couldn't stop it from going over the bar. And then we continue to dominate possession and to start to make chances. Barnett, that's the Wolves Barnett tie. He slipped over, which allowed Harry Ashfield to pick up the ball. Harry Ashfield, driving down the left-hand side, carried the ball well, squared it to James Jones, who smashed it in from about 20, 25 yards. Pond got good, solid hands to it, but parried it straight back into the goal mouth. Beg your pardon, King, the goalkeeper, did that. Pond was the centre-back, their captain. He got there first and managed to hack it out of play. But a goal was coming, and it came halfway through the first half. Free kick on the right-hand side. Ford swept an absolute beauty in that classic sweet spot between the retreating defenders and the goalkeeper. And Lewis Brunt, who had started the game immediately with showing his intent with some sumptuous passes, latched onto it, unmarked, 6 yards out, and coolly side foot volleyed it into the bottom left corner. A nice finish, but an easy chance for his first goal for Wrexham. And at that point, it looked like Wolves could completely crack, and credit to them that they didn't, although maybe Wrexham could have been a little bit more ruthless. Rathbone was starting to really impose himself on the game now. He was the player who was triggering presses, and he was winning the ball an awful lot. Wrexham were winning the ball from Wolves in their own half. A valuable lesson for the young Wolves players, I think, because if they dallied or didn't have a picture in their head of where they were going to knock the ball off too quickly, a Wrexham player, often Rathbone, was on them. On this occasion, he took the ball away from Pond on the edge of the area, and unable to turn, but knowing that Mullin was running behind him, backheeled it nicely to Mullin in the box on his own. Tight angle on the right-hand side, but he hit it with good power. King went down a little early, expecting a shot across him. The shot was more towards the near post. Did ever so well to stick his left hand up in the air and with a really strong wrist, got contact on it. He didn't know where it had dropped. I think he thought he'd parried it inside the near post, but it dropped just the other side, and it was a corner. The second goal came in the 38th minute, and pleasingly, it was classic Mullin. Again, Rathbone winning the ball to start off the move. Again, Ford with a second assist, lifting a lovely ball over the top to allow Mullin, who made a great run, to get goal side of the defenders. He was on the edge of the box, the keeper's racing out. Mullin clearly is thinking, I should lob this. But he's very calm in that situation. He doesn't rush it. He waits until it's dropped just right, and he lifts it over the on-rushing King. A super finish. A very nice goal. Wrexham 2-0 up. Second half continues with the same pattern. Wrexham creating chances from early on. Ford whipped in another good cross. Reven at the far post couldn't get control of his header and put it over the bar. A couple of minutes later, though, Wrexham getting close in it. Oh, 30 seconds of fun. Let me talk you through this. The context. Mo Farl. People were sort of, I mean, I thought rather overreacting to the fact he wasn't on the bench, and a sort of conspiracy theory felt like it might start. Where's Farl? Where's Farl? Well, here he was. And the crowd, to be fair, were really behind him. They wanted him to get that first goal. He nearly gets it when Reven whips in a corner to the near post. Farl meets it 6 yards out with a good header, but there's a crowd at the near post, and it hits them, and it's smashed away all the way back to Callum Burton. Burton starts the attack going again. Farl dropping off, picks up a nice position about 25 yards out, and the crowd roar at him to shoot. Shot's not really on. He's going to have to score a worldie if he's going to score from there. And so sensibly, he doesn't shoot. He passes it on, and he gets his reward when the ball is lofted into the box. He's standing offside, but the Mbete and Pond, two centre-backs, go for the same ball. Pond, off balance, mishits it up over his own shoulder towards his own goal. Farl is there lurking. He can't be offside. It came off Pond. And he gets his first goal for the club in the most spectacular manner. A lovely, lovely Mark Hughes-style scissors kick. I mean, he's about 8 yards out, not 18. But it's a beautiful contact, and poor King has absolutely no chance. A terrific finish, and a lovely, natural, happy celebration from Farl. No fancy tricks or gimmicks, just a very happy guy who's got his first goal for the club. The roar from the crowd showed how much they loved that as well. It was a lovely little moment. It really was. And I think the love the fans were showing to Farl was reflected in the fact that when they had the vote for man of the match, it was given to the crowd, and they chose Farl. I think he played well, but there were, as I'll outline later, 2 or 3 absolutely outstanding performances that I thought were obvious choices. But anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. I'm glad they gave it to him, because again, it just shows how this guy's wanted. You know, it was a nice welcome. And we continue to cause problems. Farl pinning his man and then helping the ball on. Ashfield again, carrying it well. Feeding Reven on the left side of the box. He cuts inside and tries to hit a right footer, curling it round the keeper. Decent strike, but gets it a bit too close to the goalie. He was able to parry it firmly away. Then, another moment of danger. Ford doing well and delivering the ball in. Mullen heading the ball down, but keeper does well to get down and make a good save. Those little Wolves moments come now, halfway through the second half. Edozie first surging through the middle and feeding Holman, another sub had just come on, in the right channel, gets a sight of goal but slashes wildly at it and puts it over. Edozie does the same thing again, charging in from midfield. This time decides I'm not going to pass to anyone. It hits a really powerful shot from about 20 yards. Burton's lunging after it. It just goes wide of the top right post. And then the substitutions begin. Dobson comes on for Ashfield. Wrexham immediately create another opportunity. This time it's Rathbone breaking down a left, putting a good cross into Farl, who can't make contact because his arm's being pulled away. He shouts for a penalty, but not all that loudly, and I have to admit, even though I was quite excited at the time looking at it, yeah, it was. I think there wasn't enough in it to justify the penalty. And soon afterwards, with 6 minutes left, he is given a rest alongside Mullen. Marriott and Fletcher come on for the conclusion. Within a minute, could easily have been a goal. Starts off with Fletcher picking the ball up in that left channel where he likes to, and he tries that lovely little trick he does where he just skims his foot along the pitch and scoops the ball up over a defender's challenge and then runs onto it and will hit it. But the defender managed to stretch and get a toe to it and poke her away. Fletcher was furious and was standing for a while offside, holding his head in his hands because he knew his trick had nearly come off. But while all that was happening, Wrexham recirculated again to the right-hand side. Aaron James got in round the back and hit a cross shot. The keeper did well to lunge for and save. Marriott just couldn't quite reach it in the goal mouth. And the ball hit the ground and span up. And James Jones, I mean, it's going to sound bad when I put it this way, but I will add a caveat. He's about 8 yards out on his own and he can head it into the net and the keeper's still getting up. But to be fair to him, there's absolutely no pace on the ball. It's really difficult for him to get any power on it, and as a result, he hits the target, but the keeper's able to save it comfortably. 3 minutes left, and Rathbone is brought off, I think, to get a standing ovation more than anything else. He was terrific. And McLean comes on, and immediately Wrexham are not only making chances, but Dobson's now gone into the centre of midfield and is doing what Rathbone was doing. He steps in and forces an error high up the pitch. Fletcher plays a lovely ball to Marriott. It's very similar to the chance Fletcher misses, but a mirror image. It's on in the right channel, not the left. The chance Fletcher missed, on Saturday against Northampton. He feeds in Marriott, and again, Marriott maybe just takes a little bit too long, one-on-one with the keeper, and it allows Pond to lunge in and make a great block, and he hits it on target. 2nd minute of added time, another opportunity. This time Brunt pinging another great ball out to the flank. Reven beats his man, pulls it inside. Marriott with a typical turn and shot just outside the 6-yard box, where a defender in the goalmouth manages to block it. And a minute later, the last chance that we had, and it was very nearly a goal, I tell you. Ford sweeping in a corner. Fletcher wins the header. It ricochets around and then falls for him in the 6-yard box, just wide of the right post. Boyle has created a loose ball. It comes up. He takes it well on the chest. It drops and he smashes it. He really smashes it from, like I said, about 4 or 5 yards out. It hits King on the line, the keeper. I don't think he knew anything about it. I think, credit to him. He was there. But yeah, a couple of inches away from the keeper, and I don't think he'd have been able to do anything with the shot with that sort of power. But anyway, Wrexham win 3-0. It's all very comfortable, and it was all a bit of fun, and the backup players got good time and put some good performances in. So have a look through it. Burton had nothing to do. I'm 99% sure he didn't make a save. Didn't have to make a save, obviously. He was a spectator, really, more than anything else. The 3 centre-backs, now then. On the right-hand side was Aaron James. I like Aaron James. I think he's got something about him, and he defended well when required. Although, like I said, Wolves had very little up front, but he did well when he had to defend. And in the second half, he started getting onto overlaps a bit more. That shot in added time certainly showed he's got a good engine on him as well. But that was a really good performance by James on the right side of the centre-back slot. Brunt in the middle of the 3 was tremendous. He was pinging the ball out to the flanks. It was wonderful, sumptuous passing, really good to watch. He dealt with the Wolves strikers really well. It was dominant. Looked to have a really good spring on him. The only thing I would say, though, is I think he is a very good player, actually, don't get me wrong. But, he wasn't up against a big, brawling League One centre-forward. He was up against, like I said, a striker who was struggling, I think, to get into the game. So, might not be so easy in the league. But, yeah, he's a good player, Brunt. And he got that goal as well. On the left-hand side, Will Boyle was quietly excellent. I just enjoyed his performance. Rock solid. Again, wasn't too tested at the back, but when he was, absolutely no problems. And used the ball well when he was going forwards. The wing-backs, well, Ford is a clear man-of-the-match contender. He put in 2 lovely assists, and as you heard as I'm going through the incidents, he set up lots more chances as well. I really like Anthony Ford, and his performance had "Register me for the league, please, Mr. Parkinson" written all over it. On the left-hand side, Reven, a real contender for man of the match. Superb, just constantly taking on the fullback. He knew he took him on early in the game. I knew he had the beating of him. Wrexham found him well, knocking balls down the channels, and he was a constant threat, really causing issues. It was a smashing performance by him. The centre mids, on the right-hand side, James Jones, who again put in a classic James Jones performance, always there to work with the man outside him. It was fun seeing him and Ford linking up again. That was such a big feature of our National League promotion season, wasn't it? He did really, really well. Lots of energy, had a couple of chances to score as well. In the middle of the 3 is my man of the match, Rathbone, who just led the game, led our pressing, constantly hassling and winning the ball back and then using it really well. It was a really good all-round midfield performance, and when you look at him playing like that, and with his pedigree, because he had a really good season at the Championship last year, you understand how well our midfield 3 are playing. But wow, it was a great performance by him. And on the left, Harry Ashfield, wow, terrific. I mean, really terrific. That lad's got something. He's exciting. He's playing in the Elliot Lee role, and he really did have a look of Elliot Lee about him as well, if I'm honest. He really carries the ball well. He uses it well. He and Reven were combining nicely. He turns players well to get into space. Ashfield's a real proper prospect. I'm really excited about him. I was after his sub appearance in the first group game when he came on as a striker late on and looked so dangerous. But yeah, after this, I'm even more excited. He was terrific. As for the strikers, Mullen again, a moment of class, getting the goal. Lots of great movements, as you will always get with Mullen, and he was evading defenders skillfully. And he played nicely off Farl, and I think Farl did very, very well. He looked a little clumsy in that game against Salford. This time, yeah, he still is a little bit, but that's just his style of movement, I think, as much as anything else. He holds onto the ball well. He holds the ball up against defenders, backs into them. He's got a bit of pace about him as well. He likes to run into the channels, and he's got the height which allows him to win headers. And he's not an Ollie Palmer or a Stephen Fletcher in that regard. He'll win his fair share of headers, though. And he looked very threatening. And yeah, you could really see how he's got qualities that Parkinson would be excited to work on. So yeah, brilliant. Really fun game as well. Really enjoyable match. And another home win. This is now, I should have checked my facts. This is the second longest run of home wins in our history since joining the Football League in 1921. The longest one, of course, was the one that we did when we were in the National League. So yeah, Phil Parkinson's got quite a good home record, I'd argue. Brilliant stuff. Enjoyable. And yeah, Parkinson had a few players lay their cards on the table to demand a chance in the Football League. With a final score of Wrexham 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers under 21s 0. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.